So if you're a creator, you know the magic numbers, right? 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. For years, that was the golden ticket to getting monetized on YouTube. Well, if you think that's still the whole story, you might be in for a surprise. The game has totally changed, and those old rules, they just don't cut it anymore.
Think about it. You grind for months, maybe even years. You finally hit those numbers. You hit apply for the partner program, and then you get that heartbreaking rejection email. Or maybe even worse, you get approved, you start earning, and then one day, poof, you're demonetized. Why? Well, because hitting those numbers isn't the finish line anymore. Turns out, it's just the starting block.
Yep, that's the hard truth. These new, much stricter policies mean that what YouTube considers ad-friendly has been completely redefined. And it's catching everyone off guard, even channels that have been making money for years.
So here's what we're going to do. We'll walk through the brand new monetization checklist. Then we'll break down the 3 biggest violations tripping people up: reused, harmful, and inauthentic content. And we'll finish up with an awesome success story from a channel that figured all this out and absolutely crushed it.
Okay, first things first. Let's get a really clear picture of what the full set of requirements looks like today, because it's way more than just the subscriber and watch hour counts that everybody obsesses over.
See, this is the entire journey. Most creators only focus on the first few steps: subscribers, watch hours, and making sure you've uploaded recently. But the real hurdles, the ones that matter most, come later. That 0 policy violations rule, that's a huge one. And making sure your content is actually ad-friendly, that's the final gatekeeper. This is where most channels get stuck, no matter how many subscribers they have.
All right, let's talk about the #1 reason channels get that rejection email: the dreaded reused content violation. It sounds pretty straightforward, but trust me, it's a lot trickier than you'd think.
So, what does YouTube actually mean by this? Well, their basic rule of thumb is this. If someone watches your video and they can't really tell the difference between it and the original video you used, that's reused content. We're talking about things like compilations of viral clips, reaction videos where you don't really say anything, or just making a few minor edits to someone else's work. You're not really adding any new value.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The key to avoiding this whole mess is one word: transformation. You know those trailer reaction channels that make a ton of money? They don't just sit there silently and play the trailer. No way! They pause it, they crack jokes, they add their own analysis. A 3-minute trailer becomes a 6-minute video because their input is the main event. Your content becomes transformative when people are tuning in to see you and hear what you have to say, not just to see the original clip.
Next up, we've got 2 policies that are super closely related, and YouTube has gotten incredibly strict about them: harmful and shocking content. This is a big one, especially if you're in the animation space or deal with any kind of intense topics.
Okay, so YouTube's automated systems are now super aggressive when it comes to protecting minors. The rule is simple. You cannot show anyone under 18 in a dangerous situation or getting hurt. And this isn't just for real-life videos, okay? This applies to cartoons, animations, and even animals. It doesn't matter if it's a fake prank or part of a challenge. If it looks like a minor is getting hurt, your video and maybe even your entire channel is at risk.
And right alongside that is the shocking content policy. Basically, it covers anything that's just meant to shock or disgust people. That could be graphic footage from an accident, showing some tragedy without any real educational value, or even just using those crazy clickbait headlines to scare people, like faking a huge crisis. And hey, for all you gamers out there, listen up, because this is for you. There's a very specific, kind of surprising rule that if you show graphic violence or gore within the first 8 to 15 seconds of your video, you can get flagged and demonetized. YouTube is really serious about that first impression on viewers.
All right, let's move on to the policy that's giving a ton of modern creators a massive headache, especially anyone using AI. We're talking about inauthentic content.
You know, this policy used to be called repetitious content, and it's aimed at videos that just feel mass-produced, like they were made from a template. I'm sure you've seen them. Videos where every single episode is the exact same formula, just with tiny changes. But today, the main target for this rule, you guessed it, it's AI-generated videos that are just created and uploaded with almost no human touch.
So how do you actually use AI without getting into trouble? Well, the answer is the same as before: transformation. You have to add significant human input, write your own unique script, do your own editing, add your own animations or text on the screen. Even something as simple as putting a little graphic that says "Day 1 of a challenge" shows that a person was there crafting a story. It proves you didn't just click a button, you actually put in the work.
Okay, so after all of these rules and warnings, let's switch gears and look at what's actually possible when you get the stuff right. We're going to check out a channel that went from years of struggling to absolutely blowing up just by making a few smart changes based on these very policies.
Just look at this journey. For 2 whole years, this channel was stuck. Only 1,300 subscribers, couldn't even meet the watch time goal, and through most of 2022, it was pretty much the same story. No real income, just uploading videos and hoping for the best. But then, in October of 2022, everything changed.
And this is what that change looked like. The creators shifted from making simple compilation videos to creating highly transformative content, with unique commentary and editing, and the channel just exploded. It went from about 1,300 subscribers to over 176,000 in just 1 year. This wasn't luck. It was a conscious choice to give YouTube what it wants: real added value.
And what does that mean in terms of actual money? Well, in just the last 3 months of that year, October, November, and December, the channel earned over 388,000 rupees. It's proof that if you stick with it and you're smart about the rules, it can seriously pay off.
So if there's one thing you take away from all this, it's this. To get monetized, and more importantly, stay monetized, your content has to be transformative. It doesn't matter if you're using other people's clips, AI, or your own original stuff. You have to add something special, something unique that only you can bring to the table. And that really brings us to the last question you should ask about your own channel. Are you just showing things, or are you actually saying something? Are you just showing gameplay, or are you creating an experience? Because looking ahead, that is the difference between having a hobby and building a career on YouTube.